mean, I sort of think of the free market as this release valve, right? You guys have been talking about scaling Bitcoin. I think that the next wave of adoption, like sometimes I wonder, like, are the Bitcoin companies, are they actually ready for it?
And what do you mean by that? That's interesting.
Well, just in every sense, like, is the UX there? The company is ready to scale the number of users, 10x, so what they are today. And it sort of reminds me of, well, were people ready for, the mempools being very full and transaction fees being as high as they are? They probably weren't really ready. There weren't too many companies or groups that were planning ahead for that type of environment. I mean, that was one of the things that we were expecting, and a theme that we were investing behind. But for the most part, people weren't really ready for it. But that creates this pressure that ultimately the free market becomes a release valve. And that's where I think the innovation happens.
That pressure's your opportunity.
Right. That's for any capitalist, right? Any entrepreneur who wants to build something to relieve some pressure. I'm excited for that, because the next wave of adoption comes and Bitcoin users and demand increases by 10x or more. Well, are the companies going to be ready for it? I'm not sure, but that's going to create opportunity for someone, if they're not, to relieve that pressure.
Happy Bitcoin Thursday, freaks. It's your host, Odell, here for another Silo Dispatch. We got a fun rip. I got 12 people from the Voltage Cloud team here for a party rip. They've been having an offsite here at Bitcoin Park in Nashville for the last few days. So we figured we'd cap it off with lots of good drinks, hats, wings, and some fun times. So here we are. Pretty exciting. We're actually live. I got Graham from Voltage sitting right next to me. I got Kim from Voltage, who helped coordinate this whole thing.
What's up?
What's up, Graham?
Not a lot, man. Just having a good time. Enjoying Bitcoin Park.
Like, yeah. Like, the live chat's ripping. How's it going, Ride or Die Freaks? Thanks for joining us without knowing who your guests were going to be. The guests were actually surprised as well. I believe Kim was the only one who was aware of this.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about it, Kim, that we're live?
Well, great, because nobody could say no. Because I just put them in a room and fed them hot wings.
The wings are good, by the way. I see someone asking about that. They're pretty good.
Edley's. It's a Nashville local joint.
Speak up.
I said we were sold sock puppets and we were given Matt Odell.
Yeah. One and the same.
I think they did.
We can still break out the sock puppets.
So guys, Voltage is fucking awesome. I rely on you guys for 5 nodes now.
Wow, nice. I didn't even know you were that high. That's fantastic.
Yeah, some of them are under NIMS, and some of them only Nate knows. But yeah, I mean, I've come to the conclusion, and a lot of hardcore people might disagree with me, but I've come to the conclusion that if I'm going to run a Lightning node, it has to be on Voltage, because otherwise it just drives me fucking crazy, and costs me a lot of money. So that's why I use Voltage, and I just wanted to thank you guys for having an outstanding product, best in class.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your business, and we appreciate it, and I think that's what it's what we strive to do. We want the easy button, right? You want to have to do it the hard way all day, every day.
It really is the easy button.
That's what Harry says. Just click the button. It works.
Dude, Weirdo Robot is actually in the room right now, but he's also a ride or die freak that's off in the live chat, and he just doxed one of my nodes, which I don't really appreciate. You know, I use your service because it's a privacy first service. There's no KYC or anything like that. So the redesign, you guys just redesigned
Matt,
it.
your Wi-Fi sucks.
Park Wi-Fi is mid.
Can confirm.
But we're hardwired right now.
Yeah.
But the Wi-Fi does suck here.
Redesign.
What do you? Yeah, I was setting you guys up. I gave you like an easy softball. What's special about the redesign? Why should people care?
Well, I mean, ideally you shouldn't care at all because it just works and it's intuitive and you figure out and you don't even notice because the design doesn't get in the way of doing what you need to do with Bitcoin. That's my opinion. But I mean, basically what we're trying to do is, there's a lot of different products that Voltage has built over the years, like obviously Lightning Node's flagship, Bitcoin Core for some people, Flow LSP, now a little Noster NPub Lightning address thing we do. So a lot of different products. Oh yeah, Surge Analytics. That was what I was working on when I first started with the company.
Wait, what is the Surge product?
Surge.
It's an analytics.
Surge.
Yeah, it's analytics toolkit.
Yeah.
So basically, you hook it up to your node, and then it, collects data from your node, presents it to you in charts, graphs, tries to find the data, like the lower level data of your node, and try to present it in an actionable way for you, to make it easier.
It's kind of like a ThunderHub competitor.
At the moment, I would say no, because ThunderHub is like a lot more about like management, like, open channel, closed channel, swap, rebalance, stuff like that. Whereas like Surge is just more about, trying to surface the data for you. But anywho, like the basic gist of it is that we had all these different products. They all kind of felt like they were separate tools. You kind of went to like a separate page for each one and kind of used it in its own little silo. And in order to kind of get to the next level, we wanted to make sure that everything felt like it was just kind of like one developer platform. Like you go to DigitalOcean and it's like, you go to that website and it's like all of their tools, whether it's like the domain name or the like virtual machines or whatever, they all feel like they work together as like one kind of cohesive platform. One the same thing for Bitcoin and Lightning. So the redesign was kind of really focused at trying to make it so that everything would feel interoperable and feel like it's all there in one platform, and kind of pave the way for us to release new products under this new interface.
And it looks really pretty.
Very pretty.
Yeah,
Steven's excellent.
So what happened with the 2-factor code? Like I had to put a new 2-factor code in.
That's a whole, like, we as part of not only the redesign of the site, we also redid a lot of the back end stuff too, adding team support, redoing our authentication system. And so that as we migrated back end systems for authentication, you had to reset it up. So that was the reason, but that was a very much
as it was happening, I was like, am I getting rugged right now? But I did it anyway.
nice.
Yeah, Surge is cool. Surge, I mean, I said ThunderHub competitor, but you guys also offer ThunderHub in like my experience with ThunderHub is only through Voltage, really, because before that I was using RTL. I mean, Surge, I feel like is very much in its infancy, right? Like you can tell, that there's like a lot of promise, but it's still very new.
Yeah, totally. But like, I think now that in the new interface, Surge is now better as a result. Like before, there was a lot of confusion because it felt like kind of a separate product from the rest of like the Voltage node. Now it's very simple. You start an L&D node with us, and then there's just like a little button that says activate Surge, and you click it, decrypt your macaroon, and it activates Surge for your node. So it's all there in one.
It's in the homepage.
It's on the homepage, and on many it unlocks many other pages with analytics that you can look at. So it's now very like tightly integrated into the management of your node now. That's part of like trying to make it feel more cohesive. So I think it'll be more discoverable for more people now, and it'll be more convenient for people to be able to see that data about their node.
Also cheaper. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean that's because we changed the whole billing system too. I mean, like
whenever he says something, we should just repeat it. But
he said it's cheaper. He whispered from the corner of the room.
I mean, cheaper is relative. It's $0. It used to be $10.
Well, no, I'm confused. So I mean, if you guys want to bring this up,
yeah.
First of all, the first time I used Surge, did not tell me the price, and I just immediately paid $10 accidentally. Like I didn't even know. I pressed activate, and then I think I talked to Nate afterwards, and he was like, "Yeah, you're paying $10 a month now." I was like, "What if I press deactivate?" It's like you're still paying $10 per month.
Whoopsie daisies.
And now it's like built into like this API credit thing.
So we have plans,
but I don't really understand how that charges me.
Yeah, sure. So I can answer, but does somebody else want to? So I'm not like hogging the mic.
That's such a great voice.
You're good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go
Whatever.
ahead.
Sorry. So yeah, basically
we have 12 people in the room, but it's just Steven.
So yeah, everyone else here is like my department to like correct me when I'm wrong, which is every other sentence.
Nice.
Basically we have got these billing plans. Before it was very like AWS-y, or is like hey, it's like a couple of fractions of a cent or whatever per CPU compute kilowatt hour, whatever. And that was very confusing because like you don't really think about like lightning nodes the same way you do the like cloud stuff on other platforms. You're not going to like spin up and spin down lightning nodes on a daily basis. You ideally want the node like running 24/7, right?
Yeah.
Kind of point of a lightning node. So it really just makes more sense for like a flat billing model every single month.
Right.
So we roll out this feature called Teams, basically, and we have these different plan levels for how big of an operation you're trying to run. So like the lowest plan, you might just be one developer just starting out. The next plan up is $25 a month. You can have 2 users on it, so you can invite your friend to collaborate on your Voltage team with you. It also comes with several API credits, like 250K API credits. So as you're using services like Surge, it just deducts from the API credits that already come included.
Yeah, but what does that mean? I'm using Surge.
Yeah, so basically every single data point is an API credit.
What does that mean?
So a data point, sorry. Okay, so we need to clear up our messaging.
This is the every other sentence part.
Yeah.
So
and it's
every
fantastic.
time your note, like something triggers, for example,
Every time I receive a Zap or a podcasting 2.0.
every
So
time
I
you
don't
generate
control that though.
invoice, make a payment, get your
I get
info,
thousands of one sat payments a week.
and you get 200.
Are those data points?
Yeah.
But it's like your plan comes with like 250,000 or 500,000, and it's like it's all aggregated up to a point where it's like you aren't gonna worry about the one sat payments like all the time. Like if you go over like your plans like a lot at API credits, you can just pay like a flat like amount, or you can reduce it and like you could just turn it off or whatever. So like
I mean, I was talking to Nate, and I was just like, I'm scared, and I just disabled it. Because I didn't really understand. Like that's just this is the feedback. I'm giving you feedback.
No, I agree, and that's why we did some of this.
I'm a different type of user, right? Like the podcasting 2.0 specifically is like I literally have like Lightning DDoS as a business model, right? It's just like thousands of tiny ass payments that are way under the dust limit. That I'm getting to my node all the time through like Fountain and all these different podcasting 2.0 apps. And thank you, Freaks, for your support. I appreciate your sats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been a node kind of in between that a few times. And you catch these like just streams of payments. It's amazing.
Like right now it's happening because RHR was right before this. So that node is just having data points sent to it.
Yeah.
And then as soon as this gets published, it's going to also get a ton.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'll probably get a ton of activity after the show. Mm-hmm. And but that's the thing. So I mean, we probably need to improve that a little bit more, just in terms of making it clear when you activate Surge. It's like, okay, this is going to cost you 1 API credit, and show you like a little tally on there, like you have 500K API credits or whatever plan. Like,
but why is Surge even like if I don't have the website open? Like, why is Surge even checking?
Because it has to be able to basically ingest all of that data.
So that when you open the website, we show you the graph instantly. So the thing that's like really hard with people that use ThunderHub, especially with big nodes, is they open it and they wait like 2 minutes, go get a coffee.
It's a pain in the ass. And then I forget and it's deactivated.
Yeah, exactly. Go to Twitter. And it's gone.
I get distracted. And then
so we
come
just
back and I have to re-enable it.
Yeah. So that's the whole model of Surge, is that we're ingesting, we're processing, we're making these insights for you while you're away, so that when you show up, we can tell you something cool.
I will say, like, I don't know if this is something to give I mean, it is from my perspective, but like I went to my node like 2 months ago and I was like, I got to pay because you don't have, I mean, I pay with Bitcoin, right? So there's no like reoccurring payments. And I was like, I'm probably due for a payment to like Voltage. And I was like 8 months past due and like my node was deactivated. I appreciate that aspect. Like if Surge like takes too many API credits, like maybe you don't close me right away.
Yeah,
that's
we got you covered on that.
Yeah, well, I mean, historically, we've done a bad job of like negative balance and things like that. But like, yeah, we aren't gonna like if you go over your all allotted limit or something, we're not just gonna like shut you down.
I paid my bill.
Yeah,
just to be clear, I paid my bill.
Yeah, so like it's you won't get just immediately shut down if like your Surge agent uses too many credits or whatever.
Like that's the fear, right? Is like just
bill
someone
will be more, right?
Yeah, and like
which
that's
is
something
fine.
Yeah.
It's like we'll auto. That's why if you look at our little marketing trailer thing, it's like auto scaling, meaning if you go beyond your initial allocation that you're paying for monthly, it's like you just buy a little bit more, and that's just tacked on at the end of the month,
right?
Automatically.
And there should be email notifications, fingers crossed, that go out. Like
I got no email notification.
Well, you haven't
you're
done
so
it your
proud of
email yet.
it that you just like I may give you an email address that doesn't
No,
even
there
exist.
was an email like. But I just like all hands on the table. Like, was it because it's like was it like treated as like a VIP node, or is that just like a?
No, you're a normal user, man. Trust me.
It's like I talk to people about like limits on like Cash App and stuff, and it's like they're like, oh yeah, like I'm getting wrecked on this, or whatever, and I see a completely different experience because like they just like whitelist Odell. So like I'm not getting that treatment. This is what you guys are doing. Well, you guys got to clean up your billing a little bit. Like
that happened. That happened with this latest update. So
I checked back after because I don't check emails.
I was just about to say, to be fair, you never check email.
But I checked when I saw I was like 6 months, 7 months, 8 months past due, and I was like, did they email me? Like, was this on me? It was still kind of on me. It was still way late, but you didn't email me. But anyway, besides that, fantastic product. I feel like we got the voltage shill through, and now we can talk about Bitcoin. But before we do that, it's voltage.cloud. If you're going to run a Lightning node, which is not for everyone, running a Lightning node is a massive mental burden. It's expensive. Like, despite what Alex Bosworth tweets out, most people will never make money running a Lightning node. You're going to lose money running a Lightning node. You're basically just doing it for the freedom. If you're an individual, if you're a business, it's something else. But if you're an individual and like you're like, I'm going to get yield on my Bitcoin by getting routing fees and whatnot with my like Tor only node, you're not going to. You're just going to lose a shit ton of money. I like said on the other podcast on Rabbit Hole Recap, I was like, I wish like L&D just had a feature that at the top just told me how much money I would lose. And like Nate immediately texted me. He was like, "Oh, you could do this, this, this." I was like, "I don't want to know. I was just saying." I was just like trying to provide. I was like making. I'd rather not know how much money I've lost.
So we got a joke called "Nate is a service," and that's what you'll get when you hit us up. Nate will give you all that.
He's great. He's great. Keep him. Keep him. He's a true ride or die. But if you're gonna run a Lightning node, voltage is the way to do it, in my opinion. There is trust elements to it. Like it's not a trustless service, but they do a very good job of making it a freedom first service. And Stephen mentioned earlier, they have like a really easy way to connect a Lightning address to it, and Lightning addresses have, for better or for worse, become a massive part of the ecosystem. So you can get like a nice little Odell at vlt.ge, and then it connects right back to your node. Super easy to use. The fees are the cost for your service is probably too low. Like you probably can charge significantly more for it. I think I pay like $35 a month or $30 a month all in or something like that. I'd probably pay more.
All right. Here we go.
But for everyone listening, as long as they're still charging that amount, I think it's a very good deal.
Somebody get this man on the growth plan. The scale plan.
8 months to pay.
But I paid. And yeah. So my last question before we move on to Bitcoin is like, what's next for Voltage? Where do you guys see Voltage going? Like, what Voltage world domination? Like, what's the plan?
What are we allowed to say, Graham?
Yeah, I think that's what's done on you.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have a lot of stuff on the works, especially being here at our offsite. It's basically been nothing but kind of that. But I mean, I think there's a lot of opportunity to increase both tooling inside of like Lightning itself, as well as just general Bitcoin. We see like we've been talking with a lot of customers that want things like layer 1 services, like help with like Bitcoin core nodes, Explora, all of those kinds of things. And so we're going to definitely be, it's kind of weird to start in Lightning and expand into layer 1, but that's sort of, something that we'll be definitely doing, is increasing, services around like layer 1. And then, yeah, there's a lot more beyond that. To ultimately, we, we appreciate all of your the good things that you've said about the service, but there's still a lot of things to solve. There's still a lot more to go inside of making all of this like super easy to use and just continuing to solve problems. So that's what we're gonna do. So I think that from a lot of things on the roadmap, this redesign that we did is basically, there's a lot of things in it on its own, but it really the big catalyst for us is it enables us to do a lot more that we have planned that we're going to be doing, over the coming months. So a lot more to happen.
Should we mention any of what we have built here this week, or should we save that for like, big reveals?
I think we should, yeah.
Talk about it a little bit?
Yeah.
Who wants to?
So one of the things that Voltage is probably the best at, and is still going to be the best at, is providing a platform in which those that want to integrate Lightning into their businesses, services, apps, etc., can find a place that they could do whatever they really want to. Right? Everything is surfaced as far as what you want to build. The full L&D API, developers will know all about that. But one of the most challenging things about Lightning, from a developer standpoint, is you don't want to code something up where you're like doing reward payouts or something and test it on mainnet. Like Lightning Network is really, really hard for testnet type stuff. And I won't go into details, but it's hard. And so we built. Can we just do full spoiler mode at this point? All right,
go for it.
So we're going to have a little developer sandbox as part of the node deployment screen on Voltage, and where you'll be able to select not only testnet now, but the signet known as MutinyNet will be there.
Cool.
And so now you can basically just define like your node infrastructure without having to wait, between 5 minutes and 3 hours for a testnet block to be mined. And you could just kind of go to a faucet, get your stuff, open up your channels, plug it into your app or service, test it around, do that sort of thing. So we actually built that integration probably to, 80% done at this point, just yesterday.
In like a few hours.
Yeah. The cool thing about that is like that's going to basically make when you're just getting started hacking on a Bitcoin project, that's going to make it multiplayer. Because like right now, a lot of times if you start like, okay, you got your laptops in the room and your buddies are coding something up, it's like one person is running reg test on Polar, the other person's connected to their cloud node because they're some cloud chat or whatever, and everyone's like on kind of a different network, right? And it's just like it's really difficult to be able to like have a solid test environment. But now what we're hoping with this product is that you just go to Voltage, create a MutinyNet node, very quickly have a channel within like 1 minute. And then all your hacking buddies can just be there. You can all be using the same node. Like when you're building your web application or whatever, it can all be talking to the same MutinyNet Lightning node. You could all make payments to it from like your MutinyNet Alpha wallet or whatever. And so it's just going to, I think, improve that experience and like speed up the collaboration when you're trying to build stuff on Bitcoin.
Shout out Ben Carmen making the best shitcoin around.
What, Signet?
Well, no,
Yeah,
the
the
MutinyNet's a
MutinyNet.
fork of Bitcoin tiers, right?
Yeah, it is.
So it's technically a hard fork shitcoin.
He is the best shitcoiner.
Yeah.
Somebody want to mention the other one we built?
Yeah. So also, everybody point at me. Sorry.
It's a good team because everyone just immediately looks at Graham and then Graham points.
Just
so we
the MutinyNet team.
I was on the other team in our hackathon, but it's all good.
What'd you build?
So we
It's weirdo. Robot.
Okay.
No, so we did we worked very closely with the MBOSS guys forever. Like we're super close with this team, and we've always supported them. Like it's a nice integration. And so with their
which team?
Hydro with the MBOSS,
You're based in
with
Nashville.
Jesse. Yeah,
Yeah.
right
I had
up
lunch
here.
with them yesterday.
Awesome. So we did a hydro integration that we're starting to work on so that people can just within their voltage node, just a couple clicks, and then they've always got inbound liquidity to whatever, not SLA, but whatever.
Kept above the threshold.
Yeah, kept above whatever threshold that hydro can provide. So it's just auto buying channels for them so that they can be sure that they've always got the inbound liquidity that they need. Yeah, so it's actually cool because it's, we have our Flow 2.0, our Flow product, which is our own LSP. And then we've now got this other way where people can go out to hydro and get inbound from other folks too, because we're really trying to build, a decentralized ecosystem. I don't want to provide all the services. We want to provide access to all of the services.
I mean, inbound liquidity is the number one headache, right, of running a Lightning node.
Absolutely.
Being able to receive payments,
right,
which is like the thing people usually want to do with money.
Right.
It's like receive it.
Yeah, it's really easy if somebody's like, why can't I send this Bitcoin? It's like, well, you have to deposit Bitcoin into the node.
That makes sense conceptually.
Right, they get it. And why can't I receive this Bitcoin?
It's like you need Bitcoin to send Bitcoin, but it's like I need Bitcoin to receive Bitcoin. That's when you start to lose them.
But so what makes this cool is that you could say, I want at least 5 million sats of inbound on my node at all time, turn on.
And you always have 5 million sats.
Right. But
as long as Hydro has liquidity.
As long as you're paying a little bit of a fee.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's actually
the
fee is expensive or
we're planning, not really, but maybe a couple bucks. We're planning on tacking that onto the bill at the end of the month.
Yeah. So the fee is to pay the channel open from the Magma marketplace that they have. So it's basically paying the liquidity provider. Which I know there's too many names in Bitcoin.
Wait, so Hydro is involved with Magma?
Yeah. Hydro is Magma is like automation.
Usually water and Magma is bad.
Well, talk to them about their naming conventions.
But
right.
Yeah,
Hydro
like theme product next.
It's kind of like a market maker. Hydro kind of like finds that it's like, okay, you want us, you need X amount of liquidity. We're going to go on the marketplace and find one for you and go ahead and help, arrange that transaction to happen. And I set up my node with Hydro yesterday to kind of understand the user flow, and it works great. It's a great product. There's a little bit of setup you have to do manually on Amboss with Hydro. So what we've done is we made it so for customers running nodes on Voltage, it's just kind of like a one-click integration. They can just immediately be hooked up to the Hydro service and not have to go through any of the setup process.
And that's because Tony and stuff built an API that allows us to just integrate it into our platform really easily. So Amboss.
Tony from Amboss.
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I don't know this Tony.
Yeah.
Oh,
he lives not around here. Let's say that. I won't dox him. But
you kind of doxed him, not
in a city.
Yeah. Justin's partner. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Justin's the face of the operation. Good for Tony.
Building off integration.
When I hear Tony, I just think Giorgio.
Yeah.
Not even his real name.
Yeah, listen to
interesting. Oh yeah.
Right, and then that's part of our kind of larger initiative to build more integrations with other companies.
Yep.
Right. Mm-hmm. So we're putting in the framework so that we've had we know so many people in the industry. It's awesome. We love what everybody's building, and starting to bring that to more people is going to be really powerful for everybody in the network. And so it was really nice to build this framework for integrations so we can start offering kind of more of a plugin kind of marketplace or whatever, something like this.
Which is also what we had an announcement yesterday or 2 days ago with an integration with Bitwave, which is a tax and accounting provider for they do crypto broadly, but we're integrating with them to make tax and accounting on Lightning specifically super easy. So you can just connect the two.
It's really difficult.
Yeah. And it's previously, how do you do it? You download them into an Excel spreadsheet or something, and then mess with them and up whatever. And so we're integrating with people like that because tax and accounting is something that businesses need to deal with. And so doing things like that just continue to solve problems. Yeah, and it's something that tax and accounting isn't Voltage's core competency. So we're not going to build tax and accounting software.
It'd be ridiculous.
Yeah, so we're gonna work with people that solve that. Yeah,
someone else do it.
I think everyone would quit if I say that we're going to build tax and accounting software.
That's awesome. I mean, Hydro. The inbound liquidity problem is as many different solutions as we can come up with for that problem, probably the better. It's unsolved. Like I mean, I appreciate Flow, but like Flow didn't solve it, in my opinion.
The first Flow,
whatever Flow. I don't know.
The Flow we have today is very much focused on like non-custodial, like mobile wallets, like Mutiny Wallet.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't like we can adapt it to like the nodes that we run, but it's kind of serving almost a different purpose in that
Got
way.
it. So yeah, so like the way I solve, okay, so let's go down memory lane. The way I solved inbound liquidity, one of my nodes was, like I called Leishman. And I was like, dude, like, why do I need to be whitelisted to connect to River? And he was like, oh, I could whitelist you. So he whitelisted me, and I opened up a channel for my node to River. And then I opened up a channel for my node to Bitcoin Park. And the Bitcoin Park needed to sell its Bitcoin to fund operations because we have fiat expenses here. So it went through my node to get to River. And then I had a bunch of sweet inbound liquidity from River. And then like 2 days ago, like River just closed my channels, like beautiful, like 20 million sats of inbound. Evaporated in front of my eyes.
Yeah. Well, I think that
so, like that's how like I mean just people do like ridiculous hacks. Like that was a ridiculous hack to try and get inbound liquidity. And then it just can be gone in the moment in seconds. Just like some engineer is just like going through the nodes like, well, we don't need it to this random ass Tor node. You know, just like boom, close.
Well, and from their perspective, they see 20 million sats of their money.
Yeah, stuck like, in a lightning channel with a stupid ass Tor node.
I'm like,
I don't blame them. Yeah. You know? It hurt, but I don't blame them.
They like closed down so many channels, you could see it in the lightning graph.
Yeah. No one can hear you, but when River closed down all the nodes, it closed down all their channels. Like you could literally see it in the total lightning capacity charts. Yeah, I was one of those, but that was like months ago.
You're a victim.
And then they hit me again. And then they released like I love the River guys are awesome. I'm not trying to shit on the River guys, but then they were like released like reports like we closed down all these channels and lightning liquidity is still great. It's like yeah, not for me.
That's an interesting thing because there's the disconnect between like enterprise lightning and like pleb lightning, if so to speak, and those things are hard to kind of reconcile sometimes. Of like you need to find those people that are willing to bridge that gap. That are like okay enough to connect to River where they're not going to close their channel, but they're also okay with opening up to like these random pleb nodes,
right?
So those kinds of services, and I think that's what a lot of like the sellers on Magma are more likely to be that kind of bridge. So I think that will help. And
do we think is there going to be a bifurcation of lightning?
Are you kidding? Of course, right? Like there's like tiers.
Oh, let's go.
Because there's people that just want to be routing 10 million sat payments all day long, and there's people that want to buy coffee at Starbucks, right? And so these are just like different scales.
No, but like what I'm saying, where there's like no connective tissue between the two.
Well, there will absolutely be connective tissue, but they will be like hard layers. Like your pleb nim node with like 10 million sats total, like probably won't be connecting to River in a year. Right. There's just like no reason for them to take up their bandwidth.
You wouldn't be today if you didn't call the CEO and say,
right.
The permission was involved.
Right.
Permission was
Evan's
involved.
The same way.
And so we'll keep going there.
I'm all to boys with him.
Yep.
Yeah. No, but my question is like, okay, so I get shit on because I shit on lightning sometimes. But it's important to realize, like, I love lightning, right? I use lightning on a daily basis. I rely on lightning. It's an incredibly useful tool for me. I run 5 lightning nodes, including the Bitcoin Park lightning node. But there's clearly product market fit. There's clearly product market fit for Lightning as a interoperable payment protocol for regulated custodians or just custodians, right? It works fantastic. you want to send money from Bitfinex to Strike, or from Strike to River, or from River to Wallet of Satoshi. It works all the time. It's almost like 99% payment reliability. I do not know for sure if like the dream of the sovereign individual running his Tor only node being able to like pay people reliably is like a real thing. And like I see it, like even like the hardcore, you guys are here for the Lightning Summit. You had even more of your team was here for the Lightning Summit than this offsite, I think. Or is it
this is the team.
This is the whole team?
Yeah, everybody.
I have a massive key man risk. Who's running my nodes? Okay.
The computer.
But I don't know if you guys remember, like I walked into the main room of Bitcoin Park and I was like, who's using Wallet of Satoshi? And like all the hands shot up. Like so many hands shot up. And it's like even the hardcores are, I mean, the other day on Rabbit Hole Recap, I got shot on because I was like, if you're using an iPhone, like consider like Phoenix Wallet with iCloud backups, you know, and because it just works. And so what do you guys think about like that comment? I mean, I don't really have a question. What do you guys think about this idea of like, is the dream of like the sovereign individual running a Tor Lightning node alive? And
I think not today, but in the future, definitely. It'll be a lot easier when a couple more solutions come out that we can't really talk about right now. But I think the biggest issue is you have to run a server somewhere. So how do you make that so easy that it's just clicking a button and that's it? We're not there yet, but we're going to get there. So the dream's alive and it's possible. And your other question about the network splitting between like businesses talking to each other and like individual people.
Those are like two different, I think of those as two different products or two different networks.
Well, the thing is,
I mean, that's what a network is, I know.
It doesn't necessarily have to be, right? So who's servicing a small business? That's going to be big business talking to small business. And then it's individuals connecting to the small business node. And then that way you have the whole connection of the network. So it'll still work that way, right? So you don't necessarily have two completely separate networks. There's going to be like that piece connecting them of the small business. Like that's where it all stays together.
Right.
Because you'll have individual people that have like somebody that's producing something they want that's local, and then they have to pay their provider like whatever they're sourcing the materials from. And those providers are going to have much bigger nodes that'll actually talk to the banking network, whatever that is. But everything.
Well, that's the problem. It works as long as there's like even one or two channels that are connecting the two worlds.
Yeah, but
what if there aren't?
But the thing is, there
will always be. That's what the markets solve, right? This is like
people
will
always
this
if
void.
You have a small business,
but if
you're sourcing
who's doing that?
You're sourcing material from somebody in the supply chain.
You might be.
That's where it comes from.
Yeah.
So
I think
it's all
like
about that.
Just ignore Tony.
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm not looking at Tony.
I mean, the scaling Lightning thing is like getting it everywhere is freaking hard. But you can, I mean, I think that like we have to like reevaluate what we think a Lightning wallet or a Lightning node is, because like,
what is a Lightning node?
I mean, a Lightning node is something that's, you know, connected to the Lightning network, I guess. But the thing about it, cool answer, Steve. But the thing about it is that we have this monolithic view of what a Lightning node is, and it's like it's going to have everything. It's going to have an on-chain wallet. It's going to gossip with peers. It's going to send Lightning messages. It have a construct its own full channel graph. It's going to do all of the complex. If you go through Mastering Lightning, we have this idea, the book Mastering Lightning. We have this idea that a Lightning node is going to follow every single chapter of that book and do.
Have you read the book?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Raise a hand. Who's read the book?
We have an Internal Voltage book club.
So
really,
we had a book club that knows what they went through. Yeah.
But the thing about it is that like now you can pare things down for mobile. Like if you're running a routing node,
it's like
if you're running a routing node, you want to have everything on it. Like you want to have it doing everything like self-sovereign. But like if you just have a thing on a phone, you could use something like Rapid Gossip Sync and just like pull down peer information from the Lightning service provider. Like that phone doesn't need to do much except for hold the user's keys so that it's self-custodial.
Yeah, but then you're not it's not a Lightning node.
It is, and we've already seen this bifurcation happen between like fucking Tony over here. So Mutiny runs nodes in the phone. Nobody's gonna route over a Mutiny node ever. That's not part of the contract. That's not part of the expectation.
Zeus does
Nobody,
nothing,
right?
But Zeus does it with LND.
But
Tony does
if you want to run a routing node, if you want to be one of those central parts of the graph, you're going to run on voltage. You're going to run whatever, something like that. We've already seen this, and there's people that are super happy serving this.
Yeah, but there's different levels than like that. I mean, there's different levels of Lightning node. Like, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's not the same. That's
you're a Lightning Network participant.
Like Mutiny, I love Mutiny. Mutiny's fucking awesome. They're my boys. Evan's my boy. Like it requires a level of trust, right? Like Olympus on Zeus can just like close my channel at will. I've had force close. My first experience with Mutiny was just like an immediate force close. They're like, Matt, thank you for your bug report.
Yeah, totally. I get it. Like,
it's a completely different world than like actually running
But for mobile wallet users,
real Lightning node.
Yeah, sure, but I don't think anyone cares about running a real Lightning node. I think people. I'm serious. This is good. Like. People want to be able to send and receive money, and Bitcoin's the best money. So maybe one day people will want to send and receive Bitcoin. So like, this isn't like what the user or the customer is asking for. They're not like, it's like a user story. It's like, as a user, I want to run a Lightning node so that I can open channels, so that I can monitor fee rates. No, it's as a user, I want to send and receive money. That's what the user story is. That's what the ask is. And so a mobile Lightning wallet can satisfy that user ask. And like, look, I get it. Olympus, Zeus,
the receive is the issue still.
It is. And look, I get it. There was probably issues with the mobile Zeus. There was.
Well, Tony hates how Zeus does it.
And there's probably issues with Mutiny wallet too.
Mutiny just does not receive.
Yeah, this is all like alpha.
So like Mutiny has solved it by like, you're not receiving payment.
Yeah.
and Evan has solved it in a way that Mutiny is not happy about.
Yeah.
Because channels just get force closed.
Well, look at it. We're in deep alpha territory right now where shit's broken as fuck. And that's just the reality of the situation. But
I think
sorry. The vision, I'll try and sort of like the vision is just that, if we just want to get people to send and receive, payments over their phone, you don't need like 1 million channels. You don't need to manage those channels. The Lightning service provider should have a market incentive to provide inbound liquidity to users, maintain that channel, nourish that channel over time, because they have an incentive to, collect fees on connecting those people to the Lightning network. So like, I think that for a mobile wallet, you're not really thinking about, you're not worried. The user shouldn't have to worry about, whether the channel's open or closed, or what the fee rate is, or what the peers are, or the network graph, or anything like that. The mobile wallet user is just concerned, can I send or receive? And the Lightning service provider, if they're doing their job really, really, really well, which I hope they do, then they should be incentivized to make sure that they are providing that service at all times.
So we have over 1,000 people in here right now, and well, not in the room. In the room we have 13. I want this to be like the most overly technical party podcast that's ever existed.
All right, I'm about to go cosmic.
Wait, no, before you go cosmic.
Mm-hmm.
So I got in trouble, right? Because I posted the meme of the train hitting the school bus, right? And like people on Nostr underneath me were like, but that's not like, you shouldn't fuck around with like trains hitting school buses. Like I have a child, like I don't want a train to hit a school bus. Like I assume the school bus is empty in the meme, But my point is, what? Wow. My point is fees going up, right? On-chain fees going up.
Yeah.
Raises the stakes significantly here, because like, it's one thing if you have like a long-term relationship with your LSP where they nourish your channels, right? But like if they're not nourishing your channels and you get closed on, I'm curious like how you guys think about like the stake. I feel like the stakes are getting higher, right? Like I mean, I started this episode off with a clip from my partner at 1031 Grant. And he's like, okay, like a lot of us are very bullish right now. Like we recently hit like a kind of like a false all-time high like 3 days ago, and then just immediately dumped $8,000. Like it feels like things are like boiling up. Like we're hitting, I mean, before halving, we're hitting all-time highs. Fees are up. Hash rate is fucking skyrocketing. The macro environment's fucking insane. We have ETFs going crazy. All of a sudden, like the suits are coming in, like pensions are coming in. Like I kind of right here. I mean, it's been like a year of me saying in all caps, Memples will never clear again. But I feel like the on-chain fees increasing is all of a sudden really changing the game in terms of how we can play with Lightning and like how end users are seeing it. And so like if you have an end user who, you know, maybe has like $500 in their wallet and then all of a sudden gets hit with like a $40 transaction fee or something like that. Like that is like, it can be devastating for a person. Right. Like Bitcoiners like to talk about global South, but like that can be absolutely devastating for a person. So like, how do you I mean, Steven, how do you think about that? Like when you're talking about nourishing Lightning channels?
Yeah. I mean, the on-chain fee environment that's going to be a problem. And, you know, I'm looking forward to any kind of solutions people can come up with. I think one would be, you know, some kind of solution for batch opening and batch opening channels would be really good. There's been a lot of exciting work with like covenants and like L enhance. But that's one of those things that, you know, that's why I just try to keep up with all the research that's going on and, you know, let the gigabrains do their work.
So, go Cosmic.
Can I make
Yeah. If you make it loudly.
Yeah. Think about the fee environment. I think it's like taking the training wheels off. Like, good. It's a good thing. Like, we need to kind of.
We're riding the fucking bike now.
Yeah, it's like putting pressure on us to figure shit out.
Are we wearing a helmet?
No.
Yeah, no helmet.
No helmet to Bitcoin.
You're the school bus.
We're ghost riding the whip. Yeah. but then to your point, like in the long run, at least the current path we're on, there's that problem of like not everyone can own an UTXO.
Right.
Right. So I think that's the biggest problem. Like unless something else comes along that fixes that, like I mean we're talking about Lightning, like trying to be self-sovereign with Lightning, but if you can't own UTXO, how are you going to do that?
I mean, I think this sort of elevates the conversation instead of just talking about to what are Lightning nodes, what are Lightning nodes for, to what is the Lightning Network itself.
What is the Lightning Network?
Like, what's it for, right? What was it for? What is it somehow turning into, or what could it turn into that isn't like what we expected, right? We expected instant settlement payments forever. That was like Lightning in 2018. And now, you know, after talking to folks like my good friend Nifty Nye and everything, it's like
fucking love Lisa.
Yeah, I talk to her all the time. Like, I've learned so much from her. She's great.
It's not Nifty Nay?
Nifty Nay. I call her Lisa. I don't know.
Tomato.
Yeah. But the
what is Lightning
Network? I think we need to be prepared for the possibility that the Lightning Network is going to just be sort of like the way the Visa network is now. Where
this is what I was saying.
Yeah. So
it's an interoperable payment protocol for custodians.
Well, not necessarily that.
UTXOs.
Not necessarily that. Because so the idea is it's a global payment network rails system, right? Yes. Okay. Custodians are involved. Financial institutions are involved. However,
fuck the seats.
However, unlike the current system, you don't need to have a banking license to run a Lightning node, right? You can actually just
yeah. That's what we have to defend.
Honestly,
like defend against the licensure. Like if it costs you 10 million sats in the future to run a Lightning node, and that's an exorbitant amount of money, that's fine. It's like 10 million sats.
Yeah, well, I'm really bullish too. It's just the gates are closing on this in a way. Fee rates go up, number go up. The amount of people that have UTXOs that are more than 1 million go down. Okay, like I feel like if folks are even moderately interested in Lightning, think Lightning could be a global payment rail system, they should start their nodes as soon as possible.
Why?
Just hang out on it.
It's been horrible to start a Lightning node early. I've lost so much in sats. You've lost so much in sats.
No offense.
We
man.
bonded
No,
over
it's
how
the
much
fact-
sats we like.
but the difference is you're very high time preference in this.
Oh, no, I learned by doing, so I have to try it. I have to try it. You know,
No, I'm the same way.
the good lessons are the expensive lessons.
I've lost so many sets. It's not
See?
been
Are
fun.
we talking
said it.
about? We're talking about individual people right now, right? Like
Yeah.
business.
But like, why did starting a lightning node early doesn't help you?
It helped. Well,
It will in
it
the
helped
future.
me. I got to
or like accumulating sats, stacking sats.
No.
Yeah, it did help you, but like having the sats in the first place helps. Starting the lightning. This idea, like we were sold by influencers, like, or you would make a channel, it was like a generational channel.
Yes.
Now I'm told like I got to close it for PTLCs. Like River's just going to close it. Like an engineer at River is just going to decide when he wants to close my channel. I closed down one of my big node. I'd had like 350 channels. Everyone's like, "Why are you doing this to me?" It's like I have a life and I just need to close this. It's not run on voltage. I do not trust migrating the fucking node.
Yeah.
I'm gonna probably lose all my money if I migrate it. You saw what happened to XMRK. Like the guy just like did like he just like maybe he wasn't thinking, did like a couple commands. It could happen to the best of us. And he lost it. So I was like, I'm just fucking the fees are low. I'm closing all these channels. Sorry, like LN CLI, like close all channels, send to sweep. You know, just fucking send all fucking.
You're gonna see more and more of that.
Hold on, is opening an early lightning node not worth anything, or is the mempool never going to clear again? Because you can't have it both ways.
No, it's both. It's just I don't know if having a lightning channel early helps you that much unless you need it. Like if you need lightning, use it. And I need lightning, so I use it. But I don't think you get like first mover advantage opening a lightning node today. Like
Not
I don't
right
think
now,
that's.
but I think the thing that will happen historically, because if the lightning algorithm or whatever in the future is anything like Google, it will look back on history, and it will just say, "Hey, is that not possible? Are they never?"
I hope not.
Does voltage have this feature?
No, I'm just saying, like, this is something possible in the future. I believe
It's
That could be
possible.
crazy. But if you open a channel early, like what Nate's
Like
saying,
reputation, you can check on like Amboss or mempool.space or whatever, like age of lightning channel, and I think like that is like a real thing I check on nodes. It's like how long is this person like actually dealt?
This is where the global south is even more like, or is like when you look at like the Google algorithm, how they determine who wins and who doesn't. Anyone who does like black hat / gray hat things, they get burned into the future. Make good decisions now, you win in the future. So these low time preference behaviors, those people win. So what Nate's saying, like start a node now by doing that, and if you have an approach where you find ways to earn, you can open a fat channel, go spend it, and then you have ways to earn it back.
Sure.
It
I
makes
have an
total
article called "The Low Time Preference Routing Node."
Yeah.
Look it up.
Another thing we haven't touched on is.
Yeah, but I think you're wrong about that, Nate.
Specifically, talk to me.
I mean, I think like that article does well to like virtue signal to the ride or dies. You know, you're pretty good at that.
So I think if you're smart enough or capable enough to drive a car,
the Catan strategy,
then you can open up a lightning channel and buy an Amazon gift card and get some inbound.
Like if you're a mother and you can give birth to a fucking human being,
which is the hardest thing in the world,
like you can definitely run a lightning node, but like should you? Like that's the question.
So my question is, should you do that to earn routing fees? Hell no. Should you do that because
you need to make payments and receive payments? But most importantly, receive payments, because make payments. If you're just making payments, if you're going down for your like El Salvador pilgrimage and you want to buy your beer and you want to take a video or like of you shopping at McDonald's, don't go to McDonald's. But like if you're shopping at McDonald's, like just use Phoenix Wallet.
Well, I think this gets into this.
But if you want to receive payments, you need to run a lightning node, period. Like you have no choice.
Phoenix is a lightning node on the phone.
This is the
well, no. Like if you want to receive them asynchronously, like if you want to actually receive them without being online.
Yeah, but once we have interoperability achieved, but for Bolt 12,
I mean, once we all have unicorns,
then we can work on the async payments spec.
We're going to tether before we have Bolt 12.
And once we have the async payment spec, then we will be able to receive on the.
There's hundreds of millions of people using Tether on Tron, and we're talking about like, oh, one day we'll have Bolt 12, and I just don't want to be a dick, but
No. I mean, it's just it's okay. It's your opinion, but it's a wrong opinion, and it's okay. Because right now, Lightning Dev Kit already has support for Bolt 12. They're having to roll it out in phases. Mutiny, I believe there's a PR up. They're kind of blocked by LDK at the moment. Pretty sure Eclair has it, or at least Onion Messaging. You already got the LNDK project added to LND, and it's already there for Core Lightning. Dude, I mean, just the other day...
Yeah, but the LND doesn't have it, right?
There's an LNDK daemon that you can run alongside your node to add support for it. So
Carl is working on it for them from the
yeah. Just the other day, we actually set up, my buddy Chad and I, we worked on a project to add... his name literally is Chad. But we actually set up a project to add a Bolt 12 address support to Zeus. So we have something that looks like a Lightning address, but it's for Bolt 12, and we have a PR open to Zeus right now. So
what does that mean for me?
What it means for you is that you can now have something that looks like a Lightning address and functions like a Lightning address, but you don't have to have that risk of what if the LNURL server, sends basically steals your money en route. It's more secure than LNURL. It's more secure than Lightning address. And since it uses Bolt 12, once we have more broader support for that in the industry, we'll then be able to support async payments. So,
side note, Chad is.
Why are you side noting?
Okay, because it's hilarious.
The koala's in the trees outside.
After the show, go to zap.stream and you'll see Noster plays Pokemon, and that's Chad's thing. Have you seen the Noster plays Pokemon thing on Zapstream?
Does he stream Pokemon games?
No, it's legit. Just like for the last month or something, it's just you have to zap to do an action in the game.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I guess
they're trying to beat the game as a community.
It's like when Twitch.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying that was Chad's.
I mean, Koala was the dicks with lightning, right? Was that Koala or no?
I don't know. You're thinking of.
I don't know this story. Doji Place wasn't Lightning Koala?
No, it is.
Yeah, where everyone just drew dicks and paid with lightning.
No, I guess okay.
We got really hung up on that.
I mean, everyone was like, "This is a revolution in finance," and it was just like people just drawing dicks and paying with.
I think that's how all good ideas start.
Yeah. You sidetracked us, but
sorry. Yeah. Bolt 12. Let's go.
Wait. That actually sounds really interesting, but that's not going to happen. Is that going to happen?
What do you mean define happen? Like Bolt 12?
Is it usable? What's the trade-off?
Yeah. So right now,
I don't believe you.
Our implementation right now works with Core Lightning. But we're also basing our work off of Matt Corallo's Bitcoin improvement proposal for this. So it's an idea that's receiving a lot of discussion on GitHub at the moment. And once
no one let him in.
Wow,
he wasn't here. What else? He wasn't there.
Sorry,
but yeah, it's basically just like imagine like this right now.
So it looks like a Lightning address to LND nodes, normal LND nodes.
Right now, LND wouldn't be able to support it, but in the future they will, I'm sure.
Okay, so 80% of the network doesn't support it.
Yeah. Well, hey, we just got to fight.
When is Voltage going to support something other than LND?
Give us more demand.
It's a good point.
What do you mean more demand?
We frankly
support it.
No, frankly speaking, we just don't get requests for anything else. Like people don't ask for Core Lightning.
I mean, can we have Core Lightning?
Okay, I'll submit a ticket. I'll send it to our team to review.
I can send
extra large ticket. Can we size this guy?
Look, I already it's like a chicken and the egg thing, right? I already told you. I'm only going to run a Lightning node through Voltage.
Sure.
Voltage only supports LND, so I use LND.
Mm-hmm.
It's chicken and egg. Yeah. Be the change you want to see in the world, Graham.
Yeah, you got a point. I mean, I think that's valid. I think that it's something that we want. I think it's like one of the things we want to do. I understand the value of it. I think amongst all the problems that we're trying to solve in the world of Lightning.
Yeah, you can do that the whole show.
Tony and I are having a great conversation.
I just want the freaks to know that Weirdo Robot is in the room. He can comment. He's choosing to comment via Zap stream. I appreciate it. But consider sending a Zap with your message next time to support the show.
The last time we're going to talk about unless you that.
But I would love if Voltage supported multiple implementations. It doesn't have to be core. And look, I love the Lightning Labs team, right? But like the dream of Lightning to me was always supposed to be like, oh, like we have this multiple implementation thing. There's going to be competition. And I'm a little bit disenfranchised at this point. Like I just assume like what LND chooses is the path we're going to take. I don't think TapPass has a future, period. I know you guys probably can't comment on it.
Why are you discriminating against async?
Async is amazing. I recommended Phoenix last week, and it said people should use iCloud backups, and I got hate for it.
Okay. No, I mean, I think you have a point. I think that it's something that like we definitely want to do. It's just a matter of like there's a gigantic list of things to solve in Lightning, right? We just talked about a fraction of them.
Yeah, let's solve.
And it's like, yeah, we're trying to solve a lot of different problems. I think that's just one of the many that we just need to like kind of have as a prioritization. So I will take your feedback and we will look at prioritizing it. There you go.
Thank you for your support, Weirdo Robot. We really appreciate it. Those 69 sats. I'm getting data point billing on that.
Sure, I'm sorry.
I'd be one of the core Lightning customers too, because man, the pain in the ass.
He's wearing the Blockstream shirt.
Yeah, I had to go. I'm not a core Lightning maxi, by the way, but right now they have
Lucas in the room.
Yeah, but they have the best Volt 12 support right now, so that's why we used it for that. But I would totally run it.
Well, and like our Flow 2.0 LSP runs on core Lightning, so like we use it internally, and so. It's something we want to do. It's just the ways of kind of operating that inside of Voltage compared to LND is just very, very different. So it's just more work. So it's just like one of those things where it's like there's a checkbox to be done yesterday, but we'll priorities got engineering. The entire team is in this room. We're not as big as Blockstream or any of those other companies. So we'll add it to the list.
I mean, I would say I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I 100% meant to put you
I don't care. Put me on the spot. Yeah. That's fine.
Well, I love core Lightning, but it doesn't like it just needs a different.
Well, what about LDK or async? Or Electrum's Python implementation? Like, why don't you guys support Electrum's Python implementation?
Yeah,
I'm trying to be inclusive.
Diversity situation. Yeah.
I mean, like LDK is interesting to like.
Well, LDK is not a node.
Yeah, I guess it's not a node. You have to like build a node with it.
If we build a node,
but you could use to support Mutiny node.
We would trapdoor to gauge entry.
Yeah, we've like
LDK node. Isn't LDK node a node?
Sort of,
kind of.
Yeah.
But like also Mutiny has their Mutiny node, right?
Yes. So Mutiny built a Mutiny node using LDK, right? It runs on a phone, it runs in a browser, it runs whatever. If Voltage built a Voltage branded node, it would be with LDK.
Right.
Like it's just like it's a toolkit for building a node.
2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
Well, it's like also
you heard it here first.
The market holds us too because they want the same APIs. Like
who is the market?
The businesses building Lightning.
Let's go.
Because
let's have it happen.
Because most people like don't. It's one of those funny things where we're super proud of the UI redesign we do. It makes it more intuitive to use the product. But most customers don't come to our website.
Right.
They have their LND node running. And they have their LND tooling already built, like it's already built into their application. They did it; it's there, and it just runs, and they never come to voltage.cloud. It's fine, like that's great. Like we're just there to be infrastructure. So the people that want to build, against our personal API that we develop for our node, like that's not like a big market pull. The market's been pulling us to deliver the LND version, something that's compatible with that.
Look, I'm fine with that. I only brought it up because Steven brought it up.
Yeah,
like he'll take the fall.
If the future is just LND, then let's just pretend the future is LND. And if the future isn't just LND, then let's build the future we want to see.
I think the mobile story is definitely one around LDK, in my opinion.
Oh no, I think the mobile story is one around async. Like Phoenix is dope as fuck.
That could
But,
be
Like
interesting.
it's like built an implementation for a single app. Boom.
They do a great job at
works
it. I
great.
like Phoenix.
I agree with you, but it's not. That's not like it's not like extensible. Like technically maybe we could go build like a mobile app with async technology and stuff.
No,
but they've like done so much of like kind of internal development
Yeah, it's
between
just
like
for
their
Phoenix.
node. Yeah, so it's like and that's where to Steven's point, LDK is very much of like if I'm gonna go build my own mobile wallet or whatever,
Right.
LDK is the only
That's
way
the
to do
thing
it.
you
You can
guys
do it
are
with LND, but right.
Like I know like LDK developers that just use Phoenix. Like, it just works really well.
Yeah.
Sure. Oh, it does. Yeah.
Like I'm not saying like they made it to be the reason they found success is because they didn't make it to be extensible or like usable by other people.
Right.
Like they just made it for themselves. They just like they created a full vertical shop.
Yeah.
Right. Like they have their own LSP. They have their own.
I mean, making stuff that you want to use yourself is the best way to make stuff.
Yeah. I like the awkward silences are really good.
Y'all see that game?
A lot of people, a lot of people in podcast apps use trim silence, so like it doesn't matter. Like so we can just enjoy the silence. Let's just all just enjoy the silence for a second.
Imagine yourself
I hear
going to your safe place.
You can't enjoy the silence. You can't enjoy the silence. I mean, what are you guys excited about with Bitcoin?
The halving.
Why? Wait, how do you pronounce it?
Halving.
It's the halving.
The halving.
Halving.
Yeah. I think it's a huge.
It's
major
definitely not
milestone.
the halvening. I don't like the halvening as a term.
I don't think I've ever used a halving.
It's a
We
dumb
shouldn't even
term.
give that word attention. Continue.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bobby.
I think it's a huge milestone, and I'm very pleased to be alive around that time and into Bitcoin.
But they always happen.
I think
this one only happened once.
Right.
Yeah, very true. Yeah.
I'm like,
This one tends to be
I'm
forgotten
fading
after,
that.
like, all the
It's
price
like
action.
it's happening.
It's like your what, 6th halving?
No, it's the third.
They'll stop. I know there hasn't been 6.
This is my 12th.
I didn't when you said it.
No, I mean, I think it's like halvings are scarce, just like Bitcoin. So there's only so many.
I think what's interesting about this halving is usually at this point in the halving, it's like mining Death Spiral FUD.
Yeah.
Like it should be people saying the miners are all going to turn off. We're usually dumping, right?
Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
And it's like Bitcoin is going to die. Like we are going to hit the halving, and Bitcoin's going to die. And then like I'm like arguing with like Joe Weisenthal, and like the halving's not priced in, and like we have like all this back and forth like bullshit. But like right now, like we're like sitting near all-time highs. We had an all-time high this week. Probably the best all-time high we've ever had because we just immediately dumped afterwards, which is beautiful.
Right. Did we hit over? Did we?
Yeah.
Yeah, technically the all-time high already happened.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
absolved of all my sins from last cycle because you technically could have sold higher at any point in those 20 seconds.
Like, didn't they print as much money in the money supply in the last 2 years? So like technically, it's not really.
Technically, the
like 78.
no. If you adjust by the bullshit inflation, it's 78K. If you adjust by the real inflation, it's probably like $1,000. Like $100,000. Not $1,000.
Yeah, you're probably right. I'll go with that. No all-time high until 100K.
No all-time high. I mean, Yellow is still doing "Don't Stop Believing" till 100K.
I still already think 100K is like nothing. It's fine.
You're cool with 100K?
No, I mean like that's it.
You're just gonna be chilling.
attainable.
You're gonna be chilling 100K. Like you're not gonna be losing your shit. Like tits out.
Have I been?
I've been at 100K though. Okay.
Wait, Yellow's doing the "Don't Stop Believing" song for Johnny.
Every day. No, it's been like 3 years. It's been like 3 years. For 3 years, every day he does a spaces on Twitter where he does "Don't Stop Believing," and then
he plays it and then
he like sings to it. Right? He like makes an art of it.
That's like
I don't know if he
such
still
dedication.
does it. I don't know if he still does it.
I don't know who this guy is. Does he have a job?
No, he's a
he does. He does "Don't Stop Believing" every day.
That is his job.
That's such an interesting job.
It's for the community. It's his contribution.
They never told me in school that could be my job when I grew up.
why
The
are you
government
asking-
lied to me.
why are you
The
asking
government
me
lied to me.
Yeah, they can go to school and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so the halving. I mean, I'm excited about the halving.
I say the halving as well because I think this, for me personally, is my first true.
This is your
bull
first
run.
halving? Oh,
This is
your
my
first bull
halving,
run.
my first bull run.
And when did you get into Bitcoin?
Just before this bear market.
So
I saw
what
this
year?
21.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Oh, this is fun.
Oh yeah.
And then my brother,
Let's
who
fucking go.
orange pilled me, was only just before that. He's over at Swan, and I think he was a couple of months before that, maybe 6 to 8 months. So this is the first.
What do your
exciting thing.
parents think about Bitcoin?
Well, my mum's happy because me and my brother continuously donating to her, so she's just watching her value go up and up and up every time she logs into the app. But apart from that, she's
Does she hold Bitcoin
on Blink Wallet? Yeah, we
Oh,
moved.
cool.
Yeah,
I like the Glory
Awesome.
team. I think they're very practical.
yeah, very cool team.
Yeah. So, what is everyone else excited about with Bitcoin? Are you guys excited about anything, or everyone just seemed really bored when I asked the question? The SAT,
A new that symbol.
Wait, SATs don't need a symbol.
That's what he's joking about.
Well, SATs are the standard. Why do they need a symbol? When you zap on Nostr, it's just like, oh, I sent you 42.
I'm just observing.
Oh, I sent you 200 of the monetary unit of the world.
Yeah.
It's like I don't need a fucking symbol for it.
Just because Coinbase and other apps did a bad job displaying it early on doesn't mean sats are bad. you know?
Did Coinbase
There's nothing
ever
that doesn't
display sats? Did Coinbase ever display sats?
No, but
I think
you're
it-
like
yeah.
0.00007 blah, blah, blah.
They still don't have lightning.
He's
Yeah.
he's saying because Coinbase screwed up the way that they display your Bitcoin balance doesn't mean that we need to like invent a symbol to like
Yeah, just because we
to solve
psychologically
Coinbase's
make
problem.
people to read things one way, it doesn't mean that it needs to be like that needs to be changed. The display simply needs to be changed. We don't need to recreate it. Like that's silly.
Designer.
Because you're right, Nasser, like 21 sats. It's like if someone gets what is
you
that?
just get 21.
Yeah.
It's like not even. I just got 21 units of freedom.
I agree.
It's like there's no.
we should talk to Kieran and be like, why does it say 69 sats? It should just say 69.
No, but I mean, I think sats is fine because that's not a symbol. That's just a word.
But zap 69.
And
You
also,
can't say you got 69.
and also, like
be alone in a room. doing
this might be controversial. This might be controversial, but it's Stay Humble Stack Sats. It's not Stay Humble Stack Satoshis. Like I don't like Satoshis. I like Sats. Because I think Satoshis is like weird and like
syllables
I
are
feel like,
challenging.
you're like worshiping an idol.
You think you'll ever change that to stay on
Matt.
stack millisats?
No.
No.
Come on,
Millisats are Bitcoin.
Because at that point, I'm just gonna be like on my ranch with my goats and other stuff, and I'm just not gonna like someone else can do that next me.
Back
I
to
don't have
being
to do
excited
that.
about what's coming in Bitcoin. The thing that's exciting about Bitcoin is giving people from different walks of life the ability to earn it. That's what's really exciting. Having ways in which people can interact.
But that's what I think is like it stops being early. Is when the majority of people aren't buying Bitcoin, they're earning Bitcoin. That's the
And
that's
when
the
it comes
turning
to
point.
what Marty is talking about, like, hey, if you're a designer, come to Bitcoin. It's like I
It's
love
easy to
Wavelake.
say.
Everyone who like is
Designers make no money in Bitcoin.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, but either way, like you go to Wavelake to get started, but a lot of people that are like super cyphery, they're just like, oh,
Wavelake is dope.
yeah, they're like, don't use Wavelake. I'm like, I love Wavelake, but the thing is
You're an artist on Wavelake.
yeah, we need the ability for
Can
people
you
to
sing
come-
for us?
No. Not right now. We need the ability for people to come in easily, and the thing I'm really excited about is like on TikTok and all these little platforms, people like passive income, blah blah blah.
Right.
Everyone's obsessed with money without doing work.
Right.
And when it comes to
That's the problem with Bitcoin. It requires work.
yeah, the thing about business is like your website's your 24/7 salesman. So when it comes to like Bitcoin and Lightning, you have the ability to create tons of passive income streams. You're a good example of this because I open fucking Prime on every tweet or every post you have, whatever note. It's like 2,000 sats, and I'm just like, you can just say things passively.
No, but I spend so much money on Nostr. Like I
You
lose money.
spend a
on
ton of money.
Nostr.
You don't
I'm
have
negative.
to do that.
I'm negative.
But for the
I think
audience
I do.
listening,
I think it's I. Have you ever seen like the Always Sunny like Patty Bucks?
Oh yeah.
Like that's what
Great
I'm doing
episode.
on Nostr. Like if I give them the Patty Bucks, then they need the
You are
Patty
doing
Bucks to
and
spend.
Nostr tracks how much you give, how much you receive. So
How does this work?
it's very transparent. But I think the thing like people need to understand, especially younger folks who are obsessed with this idea of passive income, who like want to do less, is everyone is very creative in the young generation, and the thing they need to understand are the avenues and ways in which you can make money by leveraging Bitcoin and Lightning, because you could be on Primal, you could be on Stacker News, you could be on all these other tools. You could run a node, whatever. You could run an online shop. You could avoid fees like being on Etsy. And that's the thing that's important for the next generation is how do you earn money when you're not actively doing work, but the work you put in like pays itself forward into the future. And that's what's exciting about Bitcoin. And that's what's cool about the tooling when it comes to quote unquote design, like Marty says, is designers coming to Bitcoin and making interfaces easier to interact with. It makes the next generation's job easier to adopt it. And I think that's one thing, like when Tony talks about the two Lightning networks as the B2B one and then like the one for the normies or the average user, is the more average users we have on, the better we can support and supplement and run that network. And I'll shut up because I think that's like a big topic, but that's what's really exciting is the average person being able to use it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think more exciting, the creative kids that want to like be creative and get paid for that. That's artists, and that's awesome. Yay them. But like you also tweet a lot about like HVAC technicians. Like let's do real fucking work and get paid real money for real work. And I think that's much more exciting than like TikTok videos getting sat streamed at them.
1,000%. And like Chris Hoffman, one of the guys who's like an HVAC dude, he wants to not sell his company to private equity, and he wants to build a company, and he inherited it from his father. I'm going to tag him on this now that we're talking about it, but it's like someone was like a Bunky Life, a Bitcoiner who like runs a company who's doing well in Canada. He said, 1% Bitcoin, 99% cash beats the S&P, and this guy sold $11 million worth of S&P stock to pay some floating debt in real estate. And he was like, why don't you do Bitcoin? And I was like, well, he's a steward to his dad's company that was passed down, him and his brother own. There's a board of people, which he's openly discussed. And it's just like, it's the hurdle of education. And it again comes back to, in Bitcoin, there's a tremendous amount of education that's required. And Liam and I were talking about in front of Bitcoin Park, like, why do people not get it? And it's just
why are our eyes so open? And it's so blatantly obvious to us, but then you speak to friends and family and you can show them the same facts, the same things that are happening, the same blatant misrepresentation that's happening, but yet they still don't get it. And it's like
it's Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, like how do you clear that?
They have to admit that they fucked up up until that point.
Like why is there only one MicroStrategy? Like, why isn't this HVAC company another MicroStrategy?
So, to my point,
Taylor publishes the playbook.
Yeah. Taylor can go fuck himself.
Yeah. Right, but he publishes the playbook, and like every company with cash flows could be doing.
Every big company is they're a leader to a group. They have a board of directors. If they just go on a whim, like Saylor's interesting. So for
MicroStrategy is a special situation.
Why can't everybody be Michael Saylor? Well, Michael Saylor said, everyone read this and we'll come back and talk. Kind of like what we discussed earlier with the Bezos HR thing. Now let's have an intelligent conversation. If adults show up and read it, now you can talk about it and we can challenge each other and have this kind of like what Ray Dalio talks about, like this meritocracy of openness, and we can challenge ideas. I don't think a lot of people do that.
Nobody read it.
Radical candle.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but like Michael Saylor has like he has like an infinite debt spigot, and he has like he deserves some. I was being provocative. Like he deserves credit. In that,
thanks.
Yeah. Thank you, Jesse, for the meme.
Bitcoin.
I didn't know you could post memes directly.
So post the meme as well.
I mean, more viewers or listeners post memes, please.
I mean, but include zaps with them. This is a humble value for value. This is a humble value for value podcast. We do not have sponsors. We do not have ads. We're funded purely by the audience. So like fulfill Bobby's vision and send me sats for my TikTok videos. But
you don't make stats on TikTok though. That's the thing. It's not about TikTok. I never mentioned TikTok. It's about.
You did actually say TikTok like 3 times.
Okay. Well, you clearly don't earn sats on there, but that's where the kids are because they're trying to rely on all these advertisements.
Yeah, fuck the kids. I like your idea.
Yeah. We got value for value, which Adam Curry's solving, where you don't need to like.
Adam Curry hasn't solved it. Like.
It's not perfect, but the whole point is...
Me and him run, like, the podcasting 2.0 charts. Like, we still make no money. Like, McCormick makes, like, $250K a month on his fucking ads.
And this is why we need young people to come in and do things. It's like...
dollars. And we can convert it to Bitcoin.
I think a lot of these things intersect because Kathy Wood talks about on the podcast with Rod, I heard.
She's a shitcoiner.
I don't care if she is. Like, let's be deliberate in moving forward. Like she said, there's more people building on Replit than there are like engineering jobs and jobs available in America. So there's people out there seeking to do something. They want to learn. So what we need to do as educators is be very deliberate in terms of telling people about opportunity, because if people knew the opportunity to build, and everyone who's seeking opportunity to build with these better skill sets know, if I build this, it creates an opportunity for me and everyone else to earn more. It brings more people to Bitcoin. But we're gonna interrupt each other and make memes and be silly. But these are like very important topics that are going to like change the world. And it's like giving people the clarity and the path they need to take. Because yeah, TikTok's about to be banned in America. I don't know if y'all saw that post today, but like America's trying to
fuck you. TikTok, like if you're gonna ban TikTok, you should ban Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and all the others.
Oh, they're not owned by the CCP.
Okay, so they're only owned by the NSA. So like,
Right.
So all of a sudden we're just against one social media that's owned by China. It's like they finally get a social media that's not USA owned, and like now we're against it.
No, I think the CCP is especially not aligned with America. I think.
I mean, they clearly are.
I think. Well, the current administration aside, yeah, I think if like there was a French one, that's fine.
Oh,
Like,
we're cool with the
yeah.
French. The
But
French
not
social
the
media.
CCP,
The French are
right.
never going to have a social media competitor because they sleep all day.
Sounds nice.
Fucking French.
I don't know. I like the whole like TikTok, like let's ban TikTok thing. Like it like pulls away the curtain of like the man behind the curtain. Which
Kind of.
I think I fucked up the metaphor, but
Maybe, but there's like all this like
no, I think
Google like doing
social
business in
media,
China, like,
social media is designed for control, right? It is the single biggest addiction facing our country today. Everyone will talk about opiates. You know, opiates is a million yearly active users. Social media is 8 billion, 5 billion, 6 billion daily active users. Like people are addicted. Scroll, repost,
So bring it back. Right. What's exciting about Bitcoin? It changes the incentives on how we interact with the internet. Because even right now, when it comes to AI, SEO, marketing, it's like there's this debate of is AI content going to run the internet, or like, and the bigger problem is like AI content eventually won't be able to be crawled or scrubbed by Google to identify it, because it will become more like us. Because people are like, can I upload myself to AI? And it feels natural. Right. So it's just like
dream.
It's going to come down, like, I think Max Webster has a really good point of like the whole value transfer, but it's like, you know, how do you do it and all this stuff? But it's going to come down to like the Reddit upvote system in the most simple form. Like people are going to have the ability to do that. And that's going to be key, I think.
Tim, we keep talking over you.
Apparently this guy thinks so too.
What do you have to say?
Why can't we hear ladies / women speak here?
The only reason we're in this room is because of you.
Yeah, true.
I was just gonna bring it back to, I think the mentality of why the hell should I run a lightning node, right? Like I think it goes back to what Justin's saying. Everybody who has anything to offer the world should definitely run a lightning node to be able to send or receive payments, even if you don't think anybody's ever going to pay you in Bitcoin. Every HVAC guy should have a lightning node running.
But why?
Because we all talk about, circular economies, and we want to grow this, and why aren't people using it? Well, they're never going to use it if we don't start putting it out there, right? Like Dr. Fomo. Do you think anybody in Ashland City is going to his car wash and paying with Bitcoin?
No.
No, but it's there for them. And he's running the node, and it's sitting there. He's running his voltage node.
He's being the change he wants to see in the world.
Yeah. You want to be the change you want.
Just don't say it to your wife.
It is a mindshare thing. You're right. It's a mindshare thing. It's top of funnel.
We have to change that mentality of like, why would I run a lightning node? That's stupid. I don't have anything. Okay, well then nobody's ever gonna fucking use it. Well,
it's top of funnel. I run a node. Hey, pay me in Bitcoin. Oh, if you pay me in Bitcoin, I'll give you a 2 or 3% discount. Like it's top of funnel.
No, I agree with you. It's just I would go the other way. Do a price increase in dollars.
Sure.
Yeah.
You don't want to ostracize the 98%. You want to incentivize.
Yeah, it costs more in dollars.
which still means you get discounted Bitcoin.
Yeah,
Right.
but
It's just you just shifted it up a bracket.
We're just framing.
That's the reason HVAC people don't take us seriously.
Well, when do we get the whole house Bitcoin users?
I think HVAC people do. We have plumbers, we have HVAC people. That's the cool part about Bitcoin.
Yeah.
It's like we have people of all walks of life.
Yeah, I think the individual, like the very small guy.
Stop trying to orange pill people. They will come when they need it. They'll come when they figure it out. Like we don't have to.
We don't have to, but if it's not sitting there ready for them to use, or if we're not orange pilling, like they'll come to it. But if it's not sitting there ready for them to use, if Dr. FOMO takes his voltage node down, has no way of off,
but no one is gonna decide that they're gonna use Bitcoin based on whether or not their local car wash accepts Bitcoin.
That's not what I'm saying, but it's there. So when they're ready, he doesn't have to scramble and come up with like, oh, and the stupid fee thing, whatever. He's got his channels, he's got everything there. It's that
it's a low time preference.
Be the change you want to see.
Be the change you want to see in the world, Kim. Have you considered this? Have you considered this?
What else is other folks excited about, like with Bitcoin? Do like
Earning? I like earning. Earning's big.
Yeah, working for Blink Bitcoin was pretty cool.
You worked for Blink?
Just a couple of bits, design.
Couple of bits you worked for? Is that a time period?
No, a couple of bits of work. Sorry,
What is
a couple
a
of
bit?
small projects.
Is that an English thing? Like
You get 1,000 sats.
It's cool earning.
It's better earning in Bitcoin.
Yeah, it feels good. It's quick. It's seamless.
Is anyone else excited about anything? You guys just like 9 to 5. You just do voltage.
we all hate Bitcoin. We just like do it because it pays the bills.
Just like it's 5:40 here now. You're like, I'm 40 minutes past the clock. The clock is in.
This doesn't help the protocol, but we just 10x'd the size of ATL BitLab.
Oh, let's fucking go.
Yeah, so we're now
that helps the protocol.
Huge. Yeah.
So yeah, we've got
like from like 2 to 20.
No, well, we already had about 12. Like square footage size, like
shit, like land, like actual.
Yeah, we're in our own like big space now.
Oh shit.
We don't even have enough desks yet to fill the space.
Stay humble, Steven.
Make the people stand to work and hold their laptop.
Yeah, no, they could do that. That would work. But yeah, so I mean, we're excited about it because now we can start. We just got more room for bigger.
I feel like Atlanta Sneaky has a very strong Bitcoin community. You guys had like the Rose Bowl like back in like 2015 or whatever.
Oh shit, I don't remember. Wasn't it? Didn't we have the actual Super Bowl at one point?
No, but there was the Bitcoin Bowl. It wasn't the Rose Bowl.
Oh,
the
that
Rose
Cash App
in
thing.
California.
That Cash App thing or whatever.
Yes, it was the best.
Like the basketball Cash App thing, you mean?
No, there was the fucking Bitcoin Bowl. BitPay paid for it before they went shit. What? Yeah, it was called the Bitcoin Bowl. We had that. It was like 2014 in Atlanta. I think it was Atlanta, but BitPay paid for it.
That's cool. Yeah.
But BitPay's from Atlanta.
But I had we had a good prospective investor dinner for 1031 in Atlanta, and there's like all these like random Bitcoiners that popped up for it.
Yeah, I mean we've got there's a meetup, at least one meetup every week, and so there's always something going on Bitcoin wise. And now the thing that's really cool is just that there's people who regularly come in to like work at BitLab, and so because we got people from a variety of different Bitcoin companies like Fetty and and Voltage, obviously.
What do we think about eCash? Are we excited about eCash? Because I
love eCash.
I was holding my tongue.
Let's start the spicy eCash conversations.
What's spicy about eCash? It's the future.
We are debating
I have no problems with eCash.
You hate
it. It sounds like robots will be paid with.
Cuss me out in the chat here.
Robots will be paid with eCash, weirdo.
I have no problem with it.
Matt, if Bolt 12 and all the mobile Lightning wallets fail, at least there can be eCash.
See,
and Lightning gateways.
Bolt 12 requires LND to play ball. eCash doesn't.
Yeah, so, I mean, if
that's the beauty.
If mobile Lightning wallets fail, we'll just go to eCash.
My Bitcoin Zen is no protocol changes. This thing works, and eCash works. Like it just fucking works. And the beauty is like, okay, if Lightning is an interoperable payment protocol between custodians, let's make the custodians better. And eCash single-handedly makes the custodians better. They can't tell what your transactions are. They give you privacy. They give you censorship resistance because you can't tell what people are transacting, who they are. And then you add Fedimint on top of that whole fucking thing, and all of a sudden the rug pull risk gets reduced significantly. And all the hardcores will say like, oh, all the Fedimint guardians could all be the same fucking person. Well, yeah, on Wallet of Satoshi, it's all the same fucking person already. Like the status quo is that people are using custodians. Let's make the custodians better.
But I don't have a strong opinion on this, but I'm going to play devil's advocate in that.
Do it.
Like there's like so for like a large say Cash App does eCash for like their balance holding or whatever, but like they have like requirements by government to do like this KYC and all of those things. Like so, what custodial service would use this anonymous eCash backend?
The beauty of eCash is you could do KYC on entrance, exit, and we're still at a way better status quo than we are in the current system. Like they could do all their full KYC requirements. In the best case,
if all the custodian or the federation members collude, then
no, but I'm saying like in the in and the out, they can do. They could do KYC on the in and the out, and we're still better than the status quo.
But I've never heard anybody advocate for eCash to save your generational wealth or whatever.
No, of course not.
eCash is it's spending, it's fast, it's instant.
No, it's a better custodian,
right? It's
my point is it's a better custodian. Let's improve the custodians,
right?
Like it's actually a tangible goal we can have without a protocol change because
like you're rugging risk for your pocket money, like will always be non-zero.
But we can reduce that risk with Fediments.
Sure.
And we can reduce the privacy risk with just straight up eCash, period.
Yep.
Whether that's like, single sig or Fediments.
Yeah, and it's like the cashew mints being interoperable. Like say we do cashew instead of Fediment, right?
But they're interoperable because of Lightning. That's where Lightning comes into play. Because Lightning's amazing as an interoperable payment protocol between custodians. We already know that.
Right. So somebody like I get paid in like some cashew that's like a total shitcoin that I don't trust or whatever. And it instantly converts into the cashew that meant that I trust in some way, that I choose to have a relationship. It's like choosing who you have relationships with. And that's what's kind of
free banking
changing around that. Yeah, free banking, absolutely.
Yeah. The main issue I have, and
shit, he came way closer.
He's there. You said eCash. He's like, I'm fucking there.
No,
he's a weirdo, man.
He gave me his seat. He gave me a seat. The main.
By the way, guys, this is Weirdo Robot Ride or Die Freak.
The main issue I have is a lot of the marketing, whether intentional or not, which I have a feeling it's non-intentional. It just so happens that a lot of big time Bitcoiners are also very much into like Fediment, eCash. You've got the entire Mutiny team who are killer, by the way. Tony, don't hurt me.
Are they big time Bitcoiners? Are they influencers?
But we're scared of them. So he said, "Don't."
Yes, exactly. I was like, "Don't get mad at me."
No, can we just set the record straight? Like Tony, Ben, Paul, influencers.
Absolutely, yes. They've been on this podcast before, so they're obviously influencers.
Micro influencers.
They're influencers.
Okay, continue. Continue.
The only problem I have with it is it's considered everyone talks about it as a scaling solution for Bitcoin.
Not a scaling solution. Custodians are never a scaling solution.
No, it's a scaling solution. It's not a scaling solution for Bitcoin because it's not Bitcoin.
No, it's eCash.
Exactly.
But it's self-custody.
And that's fine.
eCash.
And I have absolutely no problem with the technology itself. If like my parents wanted to come into
Tony is calming your nerves, okay?
He and I have already talked about this. And he understands my point, and I understand his. My only issue with it has nothing to do with the technology, because I think the people that are behind it are fucking killer. The issue I have with it is everybody's understanding is like, oh, it's Bitcoin. It's
not Bitcoin. It's an IOU. It's literally an IOU.
Exactly. But most people don't know that.
And most people are not using Bitcoin.
We're at like, I get
like Michael Saylor's 100 million number is bullshit.
I will talk to people.
We're at like
and I'll mention this
25
shit that are Bitcoin, and they're like, "Oh, it's a scaling solution for Bitcoin." And I'm like, "That's like saying Ethereum is a scaling solution for Bitcoin."
It is.
You atomic swap over to it. You do your shit
real
fast and shit, and you come back. It's it's the same thing, and I'm like, okay, fine, like but it's not great, but it's fine. If I think things like, we take the custodial solutions that we use now, like Stacker News.
You spelled semantics wrong.
It's all spelling. Tony.
I think
if you take something like Stacker News, and instead of having it be the custodial solution, which I'm not sure what they're running behind the scenes, but whatever they're running behind the scenes, and they do they run some sort of Xiaomi Cash, whatever it is, whether it's Fediment or whatever. It's gonna be better than what they have now. I agree. And if that means that people can,
custodians can never be a scaling solution. Like I don't think custodians are a scaling solution. They're just what it is right now. Like right now, people use custodians, and it's because of the realities of the protocol, and it's because of how people interact with the protocol that they realize whether they actually realize it or not. They realize the realities of the protocol, and they use custodians. We can improve the custodians, but I will never call it a scaling solution.
Yeah,
for a lot of people, I think that is the way it is marketed. It is marketed as a scaling solution.
It is barely marketed, period.
Right.
In general, like it's like we're all diehards, so like we see like eCash propaganda all day, every day. Yeah. But like that, but that's just like a dozen of us.
It sounds like you're.
It's heavily.
I mean, I'm one of the VCs backing Fetty.
Yeah.
Very.
Sounds like your issue is not necessarily. Correct me if I'm wrong here. You're saying it's not your issue is not with the technology itself or the people that people might want to use it. Your issue is like how it's being framed. And that you think that there is a misunderstanding and a miscommunication about it, and that you prefer that people understood a little bit better the differences between it and Bitcoin. Is that right?
Yes. And again, I don't even think it's on purpose. I just think we happen to have a lot of Bitcoiners who are very well known.
It's
who are
definitely
also
not
very much into it.
Okay, I feel like you're talking about me, and I'm like right next to you.
I'm not. I'm mostly talking about like.
First of all, number one thing I want to clarify here is like VC backed in Bitcoin is different than like VC backed normally. Like they're not flying private jets. Like Tony, Ben, and all of them are like they're still eating ramen noodles. Like he flew coach from Madeira. I assume.
I saw him wearing Gucci the other day.
Based on the amount of funding, based on the amount of funding received, I assume he flew coach from Madeira. They eat ramen like they're like it's not like your typical Silicon Valley VC backed whatever. Like we're trying to make a difference here. And then the second thing is, the second thing is you have to just look at like the realities of the situation. Right, like I've been in Bitcoin long enough. Like people choose the cheapest, most convenient way to use Bitcoin. Period. And what that means is they use wallet of Satoshi. What that means is like the crypto people use Tether on Tron. Like they use whatever's cheapest, easiest, most convenient, and they don't realize rug pull risk until after the fact. So I fucking hate Tony. You're never getting another check, by the way. So the key here is like how do we improve people's experience with Bitcoin without a protocol change? Period. And that's eCash. That's straight up eCash. Like let's improve the custodians. If we get Bolt 12, if we get CTV, any kind, CTV, like we get. I'm not advocating. By the way, this is not me advocating for CTV because I've been on those Twitter lists where like these 10 people decide like, oh, I will change Bitcoin based on like, fuck you, make your own fucking decision. But like, I am not banking on a protocol change. Right. I want to improve the situation for Bitcoiners right now, and that is Bitcoiners are using custodial solutions, and we should make the custodians better. Like the custodians shouldn't know every single transaction you make. And we should federate those custodians so that they can't easily rug pull you. And we should make it very easy for people to spin up competing ones. Like it's very difficult to spin up a competing wallet of Satoshi. Like imagine if on Voltage it was one click, and I can spin up a competing wallet of Satoshi that was completely private, that was federated. Like that would be fucking dope.
So should our next product
that would improve the situation for people. That's why I care about Fediment. That's why I care about eCash. Like I think it actually does help the status quo currently. And like all the VC backed nonsense is like the VCs, we're all struggling with all you. Like it's not like I'm not wearing like my like Gucci.
Should our next product be Fediment Guardian nodes on Voltage?
Yes.
It's not ready. You know it's not ready though.
There's a market.
When will it be ready? Be the change you want to see in the world. Kim told you. Be the change. Be the change you want to see in the world.
Problem, and I know it because I ran it.
I'm bringing Kim into it.
It's terribly bugged.
It was Kim's idea.
There's another market of improvement that's like if the government comes in and they can't confiscate it. They can't take the value. They can only shut it down, which is different from like confiscating gold. You're like actually taking that value away. So it's marginally better in that sense as well.
I think the important piece of this is that the Xiaomi and eCash stuff absolutely has a place, but it's important for people to realize that when they put Bitcoin into it, they are not getting the token that they are getting is not Bitcoin.
It's an IOU.
It is an IOU,
a perfectly private IOU.
That is right,
and that's that they could transfer offline.
You guys basically agree with
it than buying on coin.
We 100% agree with it, but he's a weirdo.
Buy Bitcoin on coin. Completely, it's better than that. And like people buying Bitcoin, Coinbase is pretty good.
So no one online can see this, but everyone in the room is standing up, ready to throw punches now.
Right.
It's getting very heated in here, but I think so.
Bitcoin.
So I think that to Tony's point, spelling aside, is that it's like
Tony's spelling is fucking horrible.
I didn't say that. Matt did. But
Evan from Zeus has amazing spelling.
But like no, like
what is capitalization?
Realistically, like these are all like semantics that don't exist anywhere else outside of Bitcoin for the most part. That are like these are like very big distinctions between like things that we like in this room are all like very passionate about the difference between the two. But it is like very hard to communicate the difference between these to like the outside world, and that's something I think Bitcoin in general needs to do better of is like communicating. What is the thing that is needed for a particular use case or anything like that?
Right.
Like when does it matter that you use eCash? When does it matter that you use a Bitcoin UTXO? When does it matter that you do a Lightning channel or whatever?
Right.
And to an unknowing user, they have no fucking idea. It's all just garbage, and it's just all like this
confusing
mess.
as fuck.
Right. And so and that's. You said something earlier when we first started about like naming of like magma and hydro. Like it's like there's like we do a bad job of naming. We do a bad job of naming. We do a bad job of like differentiating between products and when they need to be used and when they don't need to be used. And I think that's something that can be really enhanced. And to Tony's point of like it's all semantics of like, and that's Weird Robots point weirdo robots point two of like it's like I think we can do a better job of just like communicating about like what it is and like maybe surfacing it in the right way of what is the appropriate use case for the job. Right. And it's like if you're trying to store like your life savings in like a censorship resistant way, eCash is not the way. You need to use like a Bitcoin UTXO or something. And if you want to have a spending balance, like eCash is probably fine and like you can store money there, but it's just like semantics is hard is what I'm saying. And it's never been actually so hard as it is in Bitcoin because this is like, they're so extreme of like, the spectrum is so extreme between like a Coinbase and like owning your UTXO and like a cold card in your safe at home that's fireproof resistant, all those things.
Mac, correct me if I'm wrong, but the purpose of Fedi isn't really for us, right? It's for people making like $1 a day.
No, I mean that's just like a narrative.
Okay, all right.
I mean
marketing
because we're talking about like savings shouldn't be it, but some people's savings probably will be it in some part.
I mean, I think it's a private.
It's collaborative custody.
Yeah. Do you like to gamble? It's for you.
No.
People like this whole global South narrative has completely overtaken the Fediment discussion, in my opinion.
Yeah.
When really Xiaomi and eCash was originally designed for privacy, and I kind of like the idea of like if you want to be private with some big amounts of money, you could swap it into a federation with eCash and then swap it out at some point. It's like you're trying to do workshops, and it's like should I use Ronin Dojo? Should I use Wasabi Wallet? Should I go to a hobo and pay him to go inside and buy me a burner phone, and then use the burner phone to buy a laptop, install Tails OS, and then get my Bitcoin that way. No, on the laptop. Then I had to activate the email account on the Tails OS laptop using the burner phone. And then I bought my non-KYC Bitcoin, and it's like, hey, I changed the MAC address on my laptop artificially and was in a Starbucks while I was using it with my hood up so that nobody freaking saw me on the security camera. That's how I get my no-KYC. No, these privacy things don't work. So like eCash, what if we just like swapped it in, swapped it out? There you go.
That first one's fun though.
I did like that.
Where's a hoodie for you?
He's not even wearing a hood, but he simulated the hood.
Yeah, simulated.
Yeah, most people can't afford a hood, and you assume they could get that computer.
Oh, Tony's saying there's a million things self-custodial Lightning can't do. He said can't in all caps. You should have done the whole thing in all caps for a very long time, and eCash solves those friction points. Or you can wait for the Bolt 12 unicorn async world.
I agree. I think,
and he's right.
I love eCash for it's like solving this like end
It just works today with no protocol change. Period.
So it sounds like we're like everyone's like in agreement here. It's just kind of like this. It's again, it's semantics of like how do you present it and like what?
Sorry, I didn't mean to realize. I didn't mean to.
Oh,
I think.
Bob.
Graham is passively aggressively indicating that I should go do some Figma mockups to try and figure out a framing for this.
Okay, so Matt, so I have a question for you. So you're talking about protocol level changes. Are you against protocol level changes, or are you just not waiting for those to happen?
What is your stance? I would, look. Bitcoin's value prop is that it's hard to change by default.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like protocol changes should be very fucking difficult.
Sure.
And I'm not going to waste my time waiting for them.
Right.
Here I am.
And I've written,
and people need funding and support on things that don't require protocol changes, and I am going to support them. And one of the beautiful things about 1031's value prop for investors is that there's so many investors that invest on protocol changes, and they do like ridiculous valuations on those things, and then like we just get to like have our pick of the litter of non-protocol changes things.
Mm-hmm.
So like we could provide good value to the investor, we provide good value to the network, everybody wins. But like I will never, if it's not live, it's not happening. That's how I treat it
right now and run CTV if you want to.
Yeah, and no one will use it.
Yeah,
it doesn't fucking matter.
And I totally agree. And there's like a good heuristic. I've written a couple angel checks like in my life, and it's really nice. Like you just want to minimize the number of miracles that you're investing in.
Yeah,
like we're very opposed to miracles, and adding a protocol change on top of that.
It's ridiculous. Like, do not expect protocol changes. Period.
Yeah.
And like on Lightning, for whatever reason, people are like, "Oh, like protocol changes are more possible." Like, no, not really. It's like, does LND agree?
Right.
No, I mean,
that is the reality of the situation, and so like we end up in like a Lightning address world, where everyone's using LNURL.
Well, yeah, like so, like that. I guess that's why I ask, is because there are people out there that are like Bitcoin should never change or whatever, but it's just clarifying to know that you're not against change. You're just like you're not gonna wait on that.
The reason I'm a maximalist on Bitcoin is because I believe that Bitcoin will change with momentum. Like, but the question is it requires like a overwhelming amount of momentum.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So like it's very rare that will happen. But when it does happen, it will happen. And like that's why I can, store my family's wealth in Bitcoin. Is because like when there is an overwhelming desire for this thing. This is what people missed with Bcash. Like Bcash was just a disaster. Like no one wanted to invest in Bcash. Like,
that made life savings.
There was but there was no desire. There was no desire there, and there was also like there was no dev manpower. There was no real motivation for that change. Mm-hmm. But like if there was actually like a real motivation for a change, like Bitcoiners will protect their wealth and change. And as a result, like the ledger that is Bitcoin, like you own this UTXO, Graham owns this UTXO.
Mm-hmm.
That ledger matters, right? And like we want that to preserve through time. So no matter what, like Bitcoiners will always make sure that is the ledger that holds wealth. And but it requires this like really hard to measure until after the fact kind of measurement. But at my point is the whole point of this thing is like you just don't expect change. Like at the end of result, the non-change is the default.
Yeah.
And when change is necessary, it will happen. And fuck you if I'm your oracle for that.
Yeah.
Because I do not want to be the oracle for that. And anyone of integrity should not want to be the oracle of that. And it'll be what it'll be. But in the short term, focus on things that don't require protocol changes.
Well, sure.
It's a very easy solution. And I want to see things that ship. I want to see things that I can touch in my hand.
Yeah.
And like we can talk about all the like ridiculousness about like all these different proposals or whatever. But at the end of the day, like if I don't see them and I can't use them, then they're irrelevant to me. Like I'm not going to pay attention to them.
Yeah, and that totally makes sense. I think from an investor angle, and also
it's not even an investor angle.
I know
the investor angle comes second.
I know you're talking about the podcast and how you basically told us leave off the philosophical bullshit. Let's talk practical, and I broke that.
Actionable Bitcoin discussion.
But I broke that. I get it. But
you didn't break it.
No, because I talked about philosophical protocol stuff. But I get it. It does make sense because if you make a company and your company,
you weren't like Breedlove about it. Like you're good.
No, but I talked about protocol changes. I get it. But here's the thing. I get it because if you make a company, a Bitcoin company, and your company hinges on a protocol change, that's not a good company.
Yeah, and then you raise like Paul Stork Sports or whatever, however the fuck you pronounce his name. Like he raised like $4 billion on a protocol change. Never gonna fucking happen. And it's like fucking ridiculous. And it's beautiful from a 1031 perspective because like they just wasted $4 million. You know, but like from a Bitcoin, like the thing is like everyone wants to. I always talk about. I know I've won when all the conspiracy theories are like the Bitcoiners are behind it. You know, like when we're like we should be they.
That'll be good.
Like they should all. We should be they. But like the thing is my sheer motive is increasing the value of my Bitcoin stack. Like my family stores our value in Bitcoin. That is my ultimate motive. Like people can talk about 1031, people can talk about OpenSats, people can the Bitcoin is on your bed. You're in the room.
You don't even attach a zap to that.
Yeah,
it's so much fun. It's so much more fun.
Support the show.
Stop it.
It's about like the number one incentive for me is always about increasing the value of my Bitcoin and making sure my Bitcoin is still spendable, right? Because like that's what people miss, right? Like people say like store value versus spending Bitcoin. Right. It's all interconnected because there's no value stored if I can't spend it without permission.
Yeah.
Like you need both. You need both. And like that is my pure goal. My pure goal is that. And to be honest, like I'm towards the end of like my public persona. Like I am very tired. I'm a tired man. This is very enjoyable. Thank you guys.
This is the last episode of Citadel Dispatch. Thank you all again. It's a blast to do it with you.
Do not like and subscribe. But yeah, keep zapping. We can use diapers are expensive. But that's what it's about, right? Like it's about like that's the beauty of Bitcoin is like we have this shared equity, right? It's like Voltage. Like I love you guys. Like you guys are all like your family. Like it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Voltage is not part of the 1031 portfolio. I like it's one of the ones that I wish was, but it's not.
We'll talk after the show.
Yeah.
But I think Bitcoin will ever become boring.
Yeah, it is boring already. Aren't you guys bored? Yeah. Like, why do we keep talking about it? I talk about it because people want us to talk about it, but I'm like, really like
all day. We build it and make it new and fun.
Yeah, I guess, but it is a little bit boring at this point.
Everything in life is a little bit boring, and same with Bitcoin. But it's honestly whenever we get together when it's like kind of exciting. Yeah. So you talk about the shit you can build because it's like, where's the world going? Skating to the puck.
Yeah, I fucking love Bitcoin. Fun. I will talk about Bitcoin for hours and hours and hours. Right. One day, Bitcoin will be boring. Bitcoin will just be money. No one will. No one asks like, how does email work? Yeah. Right. They just fucking use the thing.
Bitcoin is boring.
Right. Like no one's gonna ask how Bitcoin works. No one's gonna like billions of Bitcoiners will exist that never question anything about how it works. It's just how they send money across the world.
So in 40 years, we're gonna just be like,
not 40 years. Why are you being so bearish?
It's kind of like
remember the good old days.
Yeah.
I really hope it's not 40 years. Like I'm gonna be so fucking.
I was picking a number that makes us old but not dead.
So fiat's pretty boring until you have a way to earn it. You know, when you have a way to earn it, you become very excited because that's.
But no one knows how the dollar works. No one knows how email works. No one knows how internet works.
I would say who email pilled you.
Most Bitcoin users in the future won't know how Bitcoin works.
That's true.
And they get confused when I ask that. I think that the Bitcoin culture has gotten very boring, but Bitcoin building is never boring.
Yeah, the philosophy shit. Fuck that shit. Just hours and hours of like, oh my god, like Bitcoin, like ships won't sink. Like we'll have Bitcoin. Like how could the ship sink? Like what are you talking about? It's fucking bullshit. But it's like if you're not building, like that's how you end up, right? Like if you leave the technical side of Bitcoin for too long, you end up in like a 10-hour breeding
Matt, question. So whenever what was it? Facebook and Instagram went down, and the next day LinkedIn go down. Was there like a boost at all to like Nostr join signups? I didn't look. I know there's a website that tracks it.
Look, as far as I'm concerned on Nostr, like
you didn't answer my question. Did
4 words? That's all you get.
As far as I'm concerned, you were not going to answer my question.
He could see it.
Low time preference, Bobby.
Yes,
4 words.
Yes, we had a massive boost to Nostr.
There was?
I don't know. I just made it up.
All right.
50 yet.
I'm the
Tell them what it was. Like everybody got to come.
No, I think
No.
everyone just went outside.
Look. I've lost faith. I've lost faith in Bitcoiners in terms of on the Nostr side, and I just don't even give a shit. Like the ride or dies are on Nostr. The only people left on Twitter are blue checks and their simps, and that's just what it is. That's what it is. Like you guys are addicted to fucking Twitter, and you don't really give a shit that Elon does not care about you guys. And you just want to be on a centralized platform, and that's fine by me.
Why would Elon care about me?
Yeah, exactly. That's my
Snowden
point.
talked about.
I think.
I mean, Snowden even
like why? I think you heard that question the wrong way.
Elaborate.
Like why would I think he's trying to say it's like rhetorical. He's like why would Elon care about me individually?
Yeah,
why would anyone care about me individually?
About what we're doing.
Yeah,
that's the whole point. It's like so Bitcoiners talk a big game, but like you're gonna be paying for your CBDCs. You're gonna be paying for your check with CBDCs. You guys are all gonna be using CBDCs, and like the argument is gonna be like it's for the mission. I'm doing it for the mission. Like Bitcoiners on CBDC platforms need to know about CBDCs and Bitcoin. You know, and you're just gonna like go down the whole path. It's all bullshit.
Was all talking like
the ride or dies
this week.
The ride or dies are already on Nostr.
They're getting more
doesn't matter.
information.
I'm cool with the ride or dies.
Even
Like,
Jameson Lott talked about it. They made the update.
Yeah, but he's also still on Twitter.
Yeah, the phone. Yeah, you're right. Where when a phone call is made, they're gonna track your IP because it's easier to handle the data versus like managing it themselves.
So much
You gotta
easier.
turn it off.
Right.
Yeah, we're all fucked. I mean.
Be the change you want to see in the world, Bobby.
Well, let's make Nostr not boring.
Nostr isn't boring.
They got us by the throat with the $30 a month. Of
they all talk
revenue
about the same
sharing.
thing every day.
Right.
Who's
Just
they?
all Bitcoin
Am I
all the
the
time.
Other people, yeah.
But all I want to talk about, all I talk about on Twitter is Bitcoin anyway. What are you guys talking about on Twitter?
It's easier to find other topics.
Cows.
So be the change you want to see in the world, Justin.
Look at what Bob's talking about. They log into Nostr clients with their InSec. How do you go about that? Like,
Why is CD not on TikTok yet, Tony? Because I have fucking morals, unlike you.
Right.
Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Wait, wait.
I can't
Wait,
imagine.
you were defending.
Tony is an avid TikTok user.
I can't
for sure.
He's a CCP.
Tony dances
right
with the
there.
Spider-Man mask on. I found his account.
Okay, guys, this has been a fucking great rip. Can I get final thoughts from every single one of the 12 people in the room?
Tony and Ben are both bears.
Okay, we're gonna start with final thoughts. we're gonna start with final thoughts from Graham. Final thoughts.
Okay, final thoughts. I mean, I think the takeaway here is that there's the fun part about Bitcoin is currently in the builder phase of like what can you make and what can you do to improve the protocol, the technology, all of those things. And so yeah, I mean, I think that's where we're excited about. Anyone that is excited about that like particular area, come to Voltage, hit us up.
Voltage.cloud.
Voltage.cloud. Yeah, I won't even spill all of like the other like channels or like my personal shit, but hit up voltage.cloud and we will help you get into the matrix or out of the matrix, which is the out of the matrix. You definitely want out of the matrix. We'll help you get out of the matrix and come into this Bitcoin ecosystem fully.
Thanks, Graham. Weirdo.
I was like, I'm gonna see if you know my name. Yeah,
I mean, I also know your legal name, but I didn't.
eCash is fine.
They use social security number.
And Tony and Bob, what's up? Nice. That's all I got.
No bugs, no pods, no blue checks.
Let's fucking go.
Check out DLC ticketing. It's a cool project. Doing some cool stuff.
I'll leave this not on Bitcoin because I said Bitcoin's boring, but I'll leave this on Voltage. Is an incredible team and one of the best teams I think I've ever worked with. So if you're not on Voltage, get the fuck on it.
There you go. It's from across the line.
I just want to say it's all Weird Robot's fault.
Bob? Learn how to earn money with Bitcoin.
Bitcoin is not boring yet, and that's a good thing for us. And yeah, I love like Liam said, I love this team, and it's the best team I've ever worked on. So
let's fucking go.
We are all going to die one day, so don't waste precious seconds of your life trying to orange pill your friends and family. Enjoy it with something more beautiful. Next time you're in Atlanta, stop by ATL BitLab and support Bolt 12.
Let's fucking go.
Weaponize the copyright system with copyleft software.
Yeah,
good one.
There you go.
It's the best time ever to build on Bitcoin. Absolutely.
Fuck Bitcoin. You all have girlfriends, so go marry them and make babies.
Stay on those access.